This is what it's gonna be like all summer, except
No,
you're driving.
it's gonna be like this all summer. Bra, 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 bra.
This is what it's gonna be like all summer, except
No,
you're driving.
it's gonna be like this all summer. Bra, 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 bra. Bra, pull the chute.
Oh, you're doing a shoot?
No. Eventually. Just not right away.
Okay, that'll last. Continue.
This is your channel. Welcome back to the channel. That's that 1320 chick, and I'm Brian. Joe's not participating in this video because this is my video about the SN today. She's just here for a pretty face.
You're such a dude.
So
That's not true. I just have not been in the garage welding because we don't have a second welder's mask. Tell them the truth.
that's valid.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now continue.
So we're in the SN, and what's cool is you right now, viewers out there, you're sitting on the mounted dash frame. So since the last video where we messed around with the door window regulator, and I feel like we finished the trim cutting of the dash pad
Yes.
and maybe the frame cutting.
Yes.
I think the frame was cut but not secured. So that's all done now. I'm looking at the frame and it's gorgeous. And we're going to show that to you right here on Joe's head. You want to hold it?
Yeah.
So as you can see.
Okay.
All right. So the dash frame is in. We're going to pull you off of the frame to show you kind of what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And where we're going next.
Motion shine.
Yes.
Okay.
Double motion.
Double motion. I swear we're not getting paid for this. We just like their apparel. And it's super nice. Is this recorded?
It is recording.
This hoodie is my favorite apparel purchase I've ever bought in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Doug in Motion. If you can replace these with something that's just as good, you'll make millions. I promise. Because these rock. All right. So going back to SN updates.
Okay.
We've made a decent amount of progress since the last video, but I don't think that this was mounted in. So we'll start there.
Okay.
So first step in making the brackets was kind of getting a rough idea of what I wanted to do. So we made it with cardboard, then we transferred over to sheet metal and cut it out from there. These are just pictures of the small side mocked up. This is the passenger side attachment point. From there, we're going to hop over. This is the driver's side, welded on roughly, and then the black you see is just kind of a rust to metal primer that I put on it. So here I'm trying to mock up what the car side of the bracket is going to look like. Also just made it out of some paper, so I can kind of see how I want to make it work. And then the plan is to bolt it through the frame into the bracket. So this is showing the attachment point on the actual car itself. The point of, I was trying to think of a couple different ways to do it. First way, as you can see here, would be to cut the bracket to fit the body itself, and then have the bracket basically sit 90 to it and weld it along that front pinch weld area. And then the second idea that I had, which is the one that I ultimately ended up going forward with, is just a flat bracket, cutting that little ridge out and welding it right into the area there. So you can kind of see that I already prepped it a little bit for weld, taking the paint off the inside of the body, and then it basically sit that way. I'd be able to put a nice bead on the outside of it, towards the outside of the car, and then just kind of put some riv nuts in it and bolt it from there. This is the finished up bracket itself, just kind of showing basically what it looks like. I think this was actually the first rendition of it. I ended up remaking it 2 or 3 times. This is it mocked up into place with the bolt holes and rib nuts in. Since we don't have a jack or a vise, we basically just used that piece of angle iron and made some relief cuts on the steel to help it bend some more. A little bit of the welding that we did there, and there it is attached to the car. So you can see we tied it into the outside, and then 3 sides welded it in on the inside, and with the 2 rib nuts put into it. The next picture is the dash pad on, and it mounted up into place. So this is showing the single bolt design we did for the other side, welded into place, similar pattern there, and then both the brackets, the bolt hole we made on the dash frame, and there it is, fully bolted in place for the first time, supporting its own weight. I still had to make the smaller attachment points on the bottom, so that's what you're seeing here and here. They actually lined up pretty well to the OEM bolting locations. A little globby on the weld, but hey, I'm still learning, so what can you do? And this is the dash frame itself. From there, we'll work on the heater core. So this is the heater core with the fresh air pickup unbolted off of it. This is the fresh air pickup from the S550. It doesn't really fit underneath it, so just for mock-up's sake, we pulled it off. So here's just a couple other shots of it with the heater core partially back in there. So you can see a little more detail. We still got to fix the alignment with it, but the front main support bolt is bolted in. We had to recess out that kind of front under the windshield support bar a little bit more. We had to figure out with the dash pad on exactly where it needs to sit, and then there's 2 bolts that go in through the firewall. At least that's how it was hooked up on the S550. That's what I'm showing you right here. So this is one of them. You can see ballpark, I don't know, ½ an inch, and then there's the other one a little bit. So here I pulled off the AC and heater hose lines. What I'm pointing to there is where the OEM SN95 AC lines went through. And you can kind of see that the S550 stuff would have been a little lower than where that is. So with a little bit of tweaking, I think we should be able to utilize that if we want to utilize that spot. And then that upper hole is where the heater core coolant lines went through, which also, again, is super close to the actual SN location. So using my trusty muffler jack, there I'm showing the blower motor and how it kind of picked up previously towards the front of the car for the S550 stuff, but the SN picks up where I'm pointing to right now. So we'll probably end up making a little custom duct for that, just so it can pick up in the same spot.
So thank you guys for watching. Remember, if you want to keep up to date with Coyote swap things, we're going to be putting these videos out every Tuesday between 4 and 6. We know that this one's probably going to be a little late, but we are making some really good progress, and we're really excited about it, and we can't wait for you guys to follow along with us. Thanks for watching.